Welcome back, dear viewers and fearless explorers of the unknown, to another spine-chilling installment of our haunted storytelling series. In this fourth episode, we venture into the shadowy corners of the land of enchantment, New Mexico, a state as rich in history as it is steeped in mystery. Beneath its vast deserts, rugged mesas, and ancient ruins lies a tapestry woven with tales of spectral encounters, cursed grounds, and restless spirits that refuse to fade into oblivion. From the eerie glow of abandoned mines to the whispered secrets of centuries-old missions, New Mexico beckons those brave enough to confront its darker side. This episode will take you deep into some of the most haunted places in New Mexico, where the boundaries between the living and the dead blur, and the past lingers like an unrelenting storm. Whether you're a skeptic seeking answers or a believer hungry for thrills, these locations promise to send shivers down your spine and leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil. So grab your lanterns, steady your nerves, and prepare to step into a world where history meets horror, and every creaking floorboard tells a story older than time itself. Let's begin our journey through the haunted heart of New Mexico, one ghostly tale at a time. St. James Hotel. Ghosts amongst the gun smoke in the quaint town of Cimarron, nestled amidst the rolling hills of northern New Mexico, stands the St. James Hotel, a relic of the Wild West era that has become synonymous with both luxury and the supernatural. Built in 1872 by French chef Henri Lambert, who once cooked for President Abraham Lincoln, the hotel quickly gained renown not only for its exquisite cuisine but also as a favored haunt for outlaws, gamblers, and gunslingers. Its storied past is etched into every bullet-hole-riddled ceiling beam, each one a testament to the violent altercations that unfolded within its walls. One of the most infamous incidents occurred in 1880, when a notorious gunfight erupted in the saloon, leaving 3 men dead and several others injured. The blood-soaked floorboards bore witness to the chaos, and despite numerous renovations over the years, many believe the spirits of those slain cowboys remain trapped within the confines of the hotel. Guests staying in room 18, directly above the old saloon, often report hearing muffled gunfire and the clinking of glasses late at night, accompanied by the sensation of being watched. Some claim to see shadowy figures moving about the room, while others describe feeling an icy hand brushing against their skin. The presence of Mary Lambert, Henry's wife, adds another layer of intrigue to the hotel's haunted reputation. After her untimely death in 1926, Mary's spirit is said to have taken up residence in the second-floor hallway, particularly near the staircase leading to the dining area. Staff members recount seeing a woman in Victorian attire gliding silently through the corridors, her face obscured by a veil. Her apparition is often accompanied by the faint scent of roses, believed to be her favorite flower. One chilling account involves a guest waking up to find a translucent figure standing at the foot of his bed, staring intently before vanishing into thin air. Perhaps the most unsettling entity haunting the St. James is that of a young boy named Billy, whose identity remains a mystery. Sightings of a small child playing with toys in the lobby or peeking around corners have been reported by both staff and visitors alike. Despite extensive searches, no living child matching Billy's description has ever been found on the premises. EVP recordings captured during paranormal investigations reveal faint giggles and the sound of tiny footsteps running across wooden floors, further cementing the belief that Billy's playful spirit continues to roam the hotel. Modern-day guests frequently share their own harrowing experiences, adding to the growing body of evidence supporting the St. James Hotel's status as one of New Mexico's most haunted sites. Lights flicker unpredictably, doors open and close without explanation, and disembodied voices whisper cryptic messages in empty rooms. For those daring enough to spend the night, the promise of encountering one, or all, of these spectral inhabitants offers an unforgettable blend of terror and fascination. As we continue our exploration of New Mexico's haunted landmarks, few places rival the eerie allure and historical significance of the St. James Hotel, where the echoes of the Old West still reverberate through its hallowed halls. Fort Stanton, echoes of war and despair nestled in the high desert plains of southeastern New Mexico, Fort Stanton stands as a solemn sentinel of America's tumultuous past. Originally established in 1855 as a military outpost to protect settlers from Native American raids, the fort served multiple roles throughout its storied existence. from a Civil War stronghold to a tuberculosis sanatorium and even a World War II internment camp. Each chapter of its history brought new waves of tragedy and loss, embedding layers of sorrow into the very fabric of the land. One of the darkest periods in Fort Stanton's timeline unfolded during the Civil War, when Confederate forces briefly seized control of the fort in 1861. What followed was a brutal conflict marked by ambushes, executions, and desperate battles for survival. Historical accounts speak of soldiers buried hastily in unmarked graves, their bodies left to decay beneath the unforgiving sun. Today, visitors wandering the grounds report hearing distant cannon fire and the anguished cries of wounded men echoing across the barren landscape. Some claim to see shadowy figures clad in Union blue or Confederate gray marching in formation, only to dissolve into mist upon closer inspection. The fort's role as a tuberculosis sanatorium in the early 20th century added another grim dimension to its haunted legacy. Patients suffering from the deadly disease were sent to Fort Stanton under the misguided belief that the dry desert air would aid their recovery. Instead, they endured agonizing deaths far from loved ones, confined within sterile wards that offered little comfort. The anguish of these souls is said to linger in the hospital wing, now abandoned but still bearing the scars of its tragic past. Maintenance workers tasked with securing the building describe hearing faint coughing sounds and the rhythmic tapping of canes on tiled floors. Others recount seeing pale faces pressed against window panes, eyes hollow with despair, watching silently as if pleading for release. During World War II, Fort Stanton was repurposed yet again, this time as an internment camp for German sailors captured off the coast of Mexico. While conditions here were comparatively humane compared to other camps, the psychological toll of imprisonment weighed heavily on detainees. Letters smuggled out detail feelings of isolation and hopelessness, sentiments that seemed to permeate the air decades later. Paranormal investigators exploring the barracks have captured chilling EVP recordings of voices speaking in broken English and German, phrases like, "help us," and "we are lost," emerging from static-filled audio clips. Thermal imaging cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near bunk beds and communal areas, suggesting the residual energy of those who once called the fort home. Even today, Fort Stanton remains a magnet for curious travelers and paranormal enthusiasts eager to delve into its haunted history. Overnight stays offer a rare opportunity to experience firsthand the spectral phenomena rumored to occur within its weathered walls. Lights flicker without cause, doors slam shut on their own, and the oppressive weight of unseen eyes follows visitors wherever they go. For those brave enough to confront the ghosts of war, disease, and captivity, Fort Stanton promises an encounter with the raw, unfiltered essence of human suffering, an enduring testament to the resilience and fragility of the human spirit. As we continue our journey through New Mexico's haunted places, few locations embody the convergence of historical trauma and supernatural activity quite like Fort Stanton. Here, the echoes of the past refuse to fade, reminding us that some wounds run too deep to heal entirely, lingering instead as eternal whispers carried on the wind. La Posada de Santa Fe, spirits of art and aristocracy tucked away in the heart of Santa Fe, surrounded by adobe walls and vibrant desert blooms, lies La Posada de Santa Fe, a luxurious retreat that seamlessly blends southwestern charm with modern elegance. Originally constructed in 1882 as a private residence for Abram Staub, a wealthy merchant and political figure, the property exudes an aura of refined opulence. Yet beneath its polished surface, the inn harbors a collection of ghostly tales that have intrigued guests and staff alike for generations. The most prominent spectral resident of La Posada is none other than Julia Staub, Abram's wife, whose tragic life ended prematurely in 1896. A devout Catholic and mother of 7, Julia suffered greatly after losing 2 of her children to illness. Her grief compounded when she herself fell ill, ultimately succumbing to what some speculate may have been a broken heart. Since her passing, countless reports suggest that Julia's spirit refuses to leave the home she cherished so deeply. Guests staying in the Julia Staub suite, located in the original mansion, frequently recount strange occurrences: lights dimming without explanation, the scent of roses wafting through the air, and the sensation of being gently touched on the shoulder. Some claim to see a woman dressed in Victorian-era clothing gazing wistfully out of windows, her silhouette illuminated by moonlight before vanishing into thin air. Adding to the mystique of La Posada is its reputation as a haven for artistic inspiration, and perhaps more. Over the years, numerous painters, writers, and musicians have sought refuge within its walls, drawn by the serene atmosphere and breathtaking views. However, many report experiencing inexplicable bursts of creativity accompanied by peculiar sensations, leading them to believe they are channeling energies from beyond. One such account comes from a renowned artist who swore he felt an invisible hand guiding his brush during a late-night painting session. Upon completing the piece, he discovered it bore striking resemblance to portraits of Julia Staub, despite having never seen her likeness before. Staff members at La Posada share their own intriguing stories of paranormal activity. Housekeepers often find items rearranged or moved entirely, as though someone, or something, is tidying up after them. Night shift employees describe hearing soft humming emanating from empty hallways, the melody reminiscent of songs popular during the late 19th century. On occasion, security cameras capture fleeting images of shadowy figures drifting through the courtyard gardens, their movements fluid yet intangible. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, La Posada de Santa Fe remains a coveted destination for discerning travelers. Its blend of historic grandeur and supernatural intrigue creates an ambience unlike any other, inviting guests to immerse themselves in both luxury and lore. For those daring enough to book a stay, the possibility of encountering Julia Staub's benevolent spirit, or perhaps tapping into the creative energies of departed artists, offers a unique allure that transcends mere accommodation. As we continue our exploration of New Mexico's haunted places, La Posada de Santa Fe stands as a testament to the enduring connection between art, aristocracy, and the afterlife. Here, the boundaries between the living and the dead blur, allowing visitors to glimpse a world where beauty and melancholy intertwine, and the echoes of the past resonate with timeless grace. Los Alamos Ranch School, secrets beneath the pines nestled in the foothills of the Jemez Mountains. The remnants of the Los Alamos Ranch School stand as a haunting reminder of a pivotal moment in history, the dawn of the atomic age. Established in 1917 by Ashley Pond Jr., the school initially served as an idyllic retreat for boys seeking a rigorous education amidst the natural splendor of northern New Mexico. However, its tranquil facade masked a future intertwined with scientific ambition and moral ambiguity, culminating in its transformation into the clandestine headquarters of the Manhattan Project during World War II. The school's conversion into a top-secret research facility in 1943 marked the beginning of its descent into infamy. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel poured into the secluded campus, working tirelessly to develop the world's first nuclear weapons. The pressure cooker environment bred paranoia, secrecy, and an overwhelming sense of responsibility, as the fate of humanity hung precariously in the balance. Many who labored within the compound's walls grappled with ethical dilemmas, haunted by visions of the devastation their work might unleash. Tragically, some could not bear the weight of their burden. Suicides and mysterious disappearances became grim realities, shrouding the site in an aura of tragedy and dread. Today, the decaying structures of the Los Alamos Ranch schools serve as a stark contrast to the pristine laboratories that replaced them. Visitors wandering the overgrown grounds often report an oppressive stillness, broken only by the rustle of pine needles and the distant call of birds. Yet beneath this apparent serenity lies an undercurrent of unease. Those brave enough to explore the crumbling buildings speak of chilling encounters, disembodied whispers echoing through empty classrooms, the faint hum of machinery long since dismantled, and the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. Some claim to see shadowy figures pacing nervously outside former dormitories, their forms flickering like static on an old television screen. One particularly disturbing phenomenon occurs near the site of the original administration building, where classified documents were stored under lock and key. Security personnel stationed there during the war described hearing the sound of heavy boots stomping down corridors, coupled with urgent voices shouting orders in languages they couldn't understand. Modern-day trespassers recount similar experiences, describing an overwhelming feeling of claustrophobia and impending doom as they approach the area. Thermal imaging devices reveal anomalous cold spots concentrated near the foundation, suggesting the residual energy of those who once guarded the secrets of the atom bomb. Paranormal investigators drawn to the Los Alamos Ranch School have documented compelling evidence of its haunted nature. EVP recordings captured during overnight sessions pick up fragmented conversations, including phrases like, "Don't look at me," and "It's too late," spoken in tones ranging from desperation to fury. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters spike erratically, especially near locations associated with high-stress activities or traumatic events. Perhaps the most unsettling discovery came when a team of researchers detected elevated radiation levels in certain areas, despite the absence of any known radioactive materials. This finding fuels speculation that the spirits of scientists and workers exposed to hazardous conditions continue to linger, their presence manifesting as a tangible reminder of the horrors wrought by their creations. For those willing to confront the ghosts of Los Alamos, the experience is nothing short of surreal. The juxtaposition of pastoral beauty and industrial ruin creates a disorienting backdrop, heightening the impact of each spectral encounter. As daylight fades and shadows lengthen, the line between past and present blurs, allowing visitors to step into a world where science and superstition collide. Here, the echoes of genius and guilt reverberate through the pines, a somber testament to humanity's capacity for both creation and destruction. Taos Pueblo whispers through time. Nestled in the shadow of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, Taos Pueblo stands as one of the oldest continuously inhabited communities in North America. For over a millennium, this UNESCO World Heritage Site has been home to the Tiwa-speaking Native Americans, whose ancestors built the iconic multi-storied adobe structures that define its skyline. Beyond its architectural marvels and cultural significance, however, Taos Pueblo harbors a deeper, more enigmatic legacy, one steeped in spirituality, ancient rituals, and the enduring presence of the unseen. These subterranean sanctuaries, accessed via ladders descending into dimly lit interiors, have long been used for prayer, initiation rites, and communion with ancestral spirits. Elders speak of times when the air inside the kivas grew thick with energy, as if the walls themselves pulsed with life. Outsiders who have ventured into these hallowed chambers often describe feeling an overwhelming sense of reverence, accompanied by inexplicable physical sensations, chills running down their spines, pressure on their chests, or the prickling of goosebumps on their skin. Some claim to hear faint chanting or drumming emanating from the depths, though no visible source can be found. Beyond the kivas, the entire pueblo seems imbued with a quiet power that defies explanation. Visitors wandering its labyrinthine alleys and courtyards frequently report encountering phenomena that challenge logic. Doors open and close on their own, releasing gusts of wind that carry the scent of burning sage. Shadows flit across adobe walls, cast by no discernible light source. At sunset, when the golden rays bathe the pueblo in ethereal hues, silhouettes resembling robed figures appear fleetingly before dissolving into the twilight. Locals attribute these occurrences to the protective spirits of their ancestors, who guard the community against malevolent forces. One of the most persistent legends surrounding Taos Pueblo revolves around Blue Lake, a shimmering alpine reservoir nestled high in the mountains. Revered as the source of all life, the lake is considered a place of immense spiritual potency. Stories abound of individuals venturing too close to its shores and returning changed. Some speak in tongues, others exhibit heightened intuition, and a few vanish altogether, leaving behind only whispers of their fate. Elders caution that the lake is not merely water but a living entity, capable of bestowing blessings or curses depending on the purity of one's intentions. Paranormal investigators attempting to document activity near Blue Lake have captured chilling footage of orbs hovering above its surface, along with EVP recordings of voices reciting prayers in archaic dialects. Even the towering peaks surrounding Taos Pueblo contribute to its haunted mystique. Hikers traversing the trails often report hearing disembodied laughter or footsteps crunching through snow, even when alone. Campers awake to find offerings, feathers, stones, or small carvings, placed beside their tents, gifts from unseen hands. Local guides recount tales of travelers who became disoriented and stumbled upon hidden caves adorned with petroglyphs, only to realize they had walked in circles for hours despite heading straight. Despite, or perhaps because of, these eerie encounters, Taos Pueblo remains a beacon of cultural pride and spiritual resilience. Its residents honor their heritage through daily rituals, ensuring that the wisdom of their forebears endures. For outsiders fortunate enough to visit, the experience offers a rare glimpse into a world where the veil between dimensions grows thin, inviting reflection, awe, and sometimes trepidation. As we continue our exploration of New Mexico's haunted places, few sites encapsulate the intersection of history, spirituality, and the supernatural quite like Taos Pueblo, a living testament to the enduring bond between humanity and the mysteries that lie just beyond perception. Common threads across haunted places as we reflect on the haunted locales explored in this episode: St. James Hotel, Fort Stanton, La Posada de Santa Fe, Los Alamos Ranch School, and Taos Pueblo. It becomes clear that these places are bound together by intricate patterns of the supernatural. These commonalities are not mere coincidences but rather reflections of universal themes that transcend geography, culture, and time. Understanding these recurring motifs allows us to peel back the layers of fear and uncover deeper truths about human nature, history, and the unseen forces that shape our perceptions. One of the most striking parallels across these sites is the concept of unresolved trauma. Whether it's the violent deaths at St. James Hotel, the tuberculosis victims of Fort Stanton, or the morally conflicted scientists of Los Alamos Ranch School, each location harbors spirits, seemingly tethered to the earthly plane by unfinished business. Their manifestations, whispers, footsteps, or shadowy apparitions, are attempts to communicate grievances, seek closure, or warn others of impending danger. This theme resonates deeply because it mirrors our collective need to reconcile pain, whether personal or societal, and underscores the idea that the past must be acknowledged before it can truly rest. Another shared characteristic is the role of architecture and geography in amplifying paranormal activity. The labyrinthine corridors of La Posada de Santa Fe, the sprawling barracks of Fort Stanton, and the ancient adobe walls of Taos Pueblo create environments that isolate individuals physically and emotionally, heightening vulnerability to the unknown. These structural elements act as metaphors for the psychological barriers erected by those who suffered within their confines, trapping emotions such as grief, guilt, and regret. It's no coincidence that reported hauntings often occur in spaces imbued with emotional significance: bedrooms where relationships ended, laboratories where fateful decisions were made, or ceremonial chambers where prayers were offered. Lighting and sensory manipulation also play a pivotal role in shaping the haunted experience. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing visitors to confront the unknown. Mirrors, a recurring element in stories from La Posada and St. James Hotel, add another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each haunted place's narrative is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The Wild West brutality embedded in St. James Hotel contrasts sharply with the scientific hubris of Los Alamos Ranch School, yet both tap into broader archetypes of ambition, betrayal, and mortality. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted sites transform from mere structures into living repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each location boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted places, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. Why we seek the shadows, the enduring allure of haunted places, what compels us to seek out the haunted corners of our world. Why do we willingly tread paths lined with uncertainty, knowing full well that they may lead to encounters beyond comprehension? The answer lies not in the thrill of fear itself but in the profound human desire to make sense of the incomprehensible, to bridge the gap between what we know and what we feel. Haunted places, like those we've explored in New Mexico, serve as conduits for this exploration, offering glimpses into realms where logic falters and emotion reigns supreme. At their core, these locations are vessels of memory, holding within their walls the echoes of lives lived, loves lost, and tragedies endured. They remind us that history is not a static record but a dynamic force, capable of reaching across time to touch the present. When we stand in the shadow of Fort Stanton or wander the ancient streets of Taos Pueblo, we are not merely tourists. We are participants in a dialogue between past and future, engaging with the stories of those who came before us. This connection transcends mere curiosity. It taps into our innate yearning for continuity, for proof that our actions matter even after we are gone. Haunted places also challenge us to confront our own fears. In an increasingly predictable world dominated by technology and routine, the unknown holds a peculiar allure. These sites offer controlled exposure to the unpredictable, allowing us to flirt with danger without genuine risk. The adrenaline rush of hearing phantom footsteps or seeing a fleeting shadow satisfies our primal instinct for adventure, making haunted places a form of escapism that feels both safe and exhilarating. Yet, beneath the surface, they push us to question our assumptions about reality, forcing us to consider possibilities that defy explanation. Moreover, haunted places foster community. They bring together skeptics and believers, historians and thrill seekers, united by a shared fascination with the mysterious. Whether swapping tales around a campfire at Los Alamos Ranch School or comparing notes after a night spent in St. James Hotel, these interactions create bonds forged in wonder and awe. They remind us that, regardless of individual beliefs, the search for meaning is a universal endeavor, one that transcends divisions of culture, language, and creed. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of haunted places lies in their ability to evoke empathy. Behind every ghostly encounter is a story, a person whose joys, sorrows, and struggles mirror our own. By engaging with these narratives, we honor the humanity of those who have passed, ensuring that their legacies endure. In doing so, we reaffirm our place in the continuum of existence, finding solace in the knowledge that even in death, we are never truly alone. As we conclude this journey through New Mexico's haunted landmarks, let us carry forward the lessons they impart, that history is alive, that fear can be transformative, and that the boundaries between worlds are thinner than we imagine. May these tales inspire you to embrace the unknown, not with trepidation, but with open hearts and minds ready to listen. And so, dear friends of the unseen, we draw this chilling chapter of our haunted storytelling series to a close. From the creaking floorboards of St. James Hotel to the whispered secrets of Taos Pueblo, we've wandered through landscapes where history and horror intertwine, leaving behind echoes that refuse to fade. Each location we explored has revealed a fragment of the supernatural tapestry woven into New Mexico's soul, a reminder that the past is never truly gone, but lingers, waiting to be heard. But our journey doesn't end here. The land of enchantment holds countless other mysteries, each more beguiling than the last. If these tales have stirred your curiosity or quickened your pulse, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of these haunted places yourself. Walk the same trails where spirits are said to roam, sleep in the rooms where history's shadows dance, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking answers or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these sites promise experiences that will linger long after you've left their grounds. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint strains of music in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all. But isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting,